So I got a bunch of really cheap pavers, and I'd like to have a walkway down along the waterfront here. Could be 3 feet or 4 feet. And I got some lumber so that I can make what they call a screed to establish the height of the thickness of the bricks, so that they'll be flush to the surface of the seawall and flush to the surface of this little walkway that leads up to the patio in the house over there. So that's what I'm going to try to do to build a screed. I'm going to use the long board to establish the height relative to the walkway, and it'll have a slight downward slope from the upper board to the seawall, and that's what I'm going to put those two together over there for. So I'm going to set you up over here and we'll figure out how this will all work. That board in about 5 feet. Should be right in here somewhere. Plus I have there's a buried big cement pad over here from an old davit, and then I'll have to deal with that as I get over there, I guess. Should maybe check that out before I get too far. Okay, so the pad is rather large, but here's the so that this brick will be setting up about here, so I have an inch or so underneath here, and here's one of the bolts from the old davit. I can cut this off. There may be another one hidden here. I can't really know. I thought maybe I would use this for something, but I can't imagine what. So I'll cut this flush. That's good news. That means I'm not going to have a big pad here that I'll have to fill back in with cement or something. I can make it all look the same with using those bricks that I have, those pavers. These are cement form stakes, and you'll notice that they have a pointy end and a driving end, and they have holes all the way through periodically to the full length of the stake. I mean, you can drive these into the ground wherever you need them, and then you can screw through to attach to wood, to hold wood into a particular location. They're meant for holding forms, but this is pretty much the same thing. It's just what I'm going to do here. So this is about 5 feet. It doesn't have to be exact. I want that to be equal with the, you know what, these screws are going to be too big for this. These friggin' holes. I just gotta go get something else. All right, these are some. These are rusty old drywall screws. It really doesn't matter. I can anything that'll fit. Yeah. You'll see that the deck screws are probably number 10s, and these are probably number 8s. I don't know for sure, but you'll see that these go through plenty, and they'll screw into the 2x4 and hold it up in its proper location. Set this on here. It's actually pretty good the way that it is. Perfect. What I need to do now is take this, level this bed, so that I have at least the brick thickness below, as close to, you know, below as possible. Rake it out so that it's clean, and then start to set bricks. The screed will establish what the thickness of the bed is, you know, to establish a firm bed. But it's a lot of work to dig this out, so that's what I'm going to do next. When you come back, I'll have this clean, I guess. So I've turned over this whole area out to the 12-foot mark. Turned it over, took all the old cement out, and put it in the wheelbarrow. And pulled out anything that was growing. The next step is I'm going to rake it out to make sure that there's no stone in there. This is all sand, I mean, really, but even the chunks that you see here are primarily sand. And then to get down on my hands and knees and make sure that everything is whatever, then I'll build the screed and I'll smooth this all out to a particular thickness. I'll tamp it down to make sure that it's packed, because now that I've turned it all over, you know, we need to make it sandy. But to turn it back over again, and you wet it usually so that it tends to compact better. And then we're ready to, you know, set a pattern and put those pavers in the ground and see how it looks. So anyway, that's the next step. I just gotta go cool off a little bit and get something to drink. So. right height and do this. So I think this is now 5 feet, so I'll have 6 inches in order to play with, to go back and forth, screed that area, and then we'll figure out how to do thereafter, I guess. I've been using this, I have this 100-foot cord that just follows me around the yard wherever it is. It's always plugged in, and it's been living out here for several years. I forget I've got power now on the dock, and but I still use this cord. So. Absolute straightest pieces I could find. So these are all kiln dried, and oh, this is only 90. Oh, this is only okay. Whatever, 93. That's 45 is 93. I'm gonna make it about like 4 feet. So you can see what I've done is the bricks are up against this piece here, which will be the top edge of the 2x4 over here, and the outside edge of the seawall over there, and that will be the height that I need to lay these in flat and flat here. Okay. This is shallow. That's the way that it'll work. So I need more end up tapping these things in, so I guess everything's pretty much the way that it is. The only thing is that I'm going to put a pattern out here sometime. I didn't want this end to be on the seawall here, and by putting it out there I have half an inch worth of space there, so this is going to have to be tapped down, or I'll have to make adjustments in the sand underneath. So I had a piece of rabbit wire, and it's a 1/4 inch square, and I just cut. I had some leftover lumber from some other place, so what I'm making is a sieve or a sifter, and that way I can take the stones and stuff out of the sand and make my life a little easier. So this, I guess, comes in 24-inch wide pieces, or rolls, which this was once upon a time. And let go. Maybe what I'll do is put it on this way, like this. Jeez. Heck, you know, I guess I'll cut this. Sand. So now we have a little sand.
Better. This one. Okay. This look a lot better this way. You know? Look how nice. Set them up like this.
No, I don't want them.
No?
I don't want them like that. No.
One way like this, huh?
No, I'm gonna. It's a basket weave.
I don't know.
You'll see. You'll see.
Easy.
I'm gonna walk right into it.
You're not working hard.
You're gonna stab me.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I walk right into it.
You're right.
You know?
Because he can't see you.
I can't say he can't see me.
Uh-huh. You know what I mean? You speak good English. Uh-huh.
The walkway will only come to here. This way. This wide and that way. And then once I finish this piece, then I'll move this to over there. This is what gives me the height, make everything smooth. Okay? So I can do this. I can make that all smooth.
Smooth.
This is a tile saw, but I'm using it to cut the brick, and periodically you need half bricks. I've got a few stacked over there, but this is a 7-inch blade. This is diamond. This outside rim, this blade has almost had it, but the diamond cuts through anything, granite, tile. This is just brick, this is cement, but it can only cut that thick, so you end up having to cut through part of it, and this is a 50-50, exactly 50-50, and you set the stop and it cuts it the same way every single time, which is great. And it's a water saw, so it actually, when you turn on the saw, it pumps water and cuts, provides cooling and lubrication for the blade. So then you just slide the table through, cuts the brick, and then it can't cut deep enough, so you have to turn it over and cut the back side too. So that's what I'm going to do right now. There you have it. You can see the difference in the cut top to bottom, but that's just in the variation in the brick. So, but anyway, but there you go. You have two exactly the same, well, within 1/16 of an inch or so bricks. So I'm just pulling the sand away. That establishes my 1 point over there for the height, and this over here for the other point. I was surprised to find out these bricks weigh 5.5 pounds a piece, and I carried in my half-ton pickup truck, I carried like 3,100 pounds worth of bricks. Anyway, what am I looking for? My mallet. I thought I left it out here last night. Once these bricks are all in place, you see there's spaces all the way down through there. You install, there's a setting sand. I can't remember off the top of my head what they call it, but it fills in those spaces and then hardens with water. So you have to set it on a dry day. Okay, and this is where the half brick then goes, right here. There's a little variation here in the way that the seawall was formed too. Okay. You start to see the pattern, vertical, 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 vertical at an angle, and then horizontal, 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 horizontal at an angle. And it becomes pretty clear once you set up your initial pattern. This is a herringbone set on the square. That's screwing me up over there, and that's what's creating this bigger than before issue, because this was all absolutely lined up. But it won't hurt things, we'll just adjust as we go, and you won't even notice that afterwards. Really important to get to set the bricks down, not to set them in and pull them in. Otherwise you collect some material between the edge of your brick here, and it keeps you from getting a smooth transition from brick to brick. Okay. Okay, and we need another half brick over here. That seems a little high. That's better. Keep your fingers out from underneath that mallet. There are also, it's important to know that there is a top and a bottom to these bricks. It's not just arbitrary. And the reason, the way that you can easily tell, you look at the way that these have sort of a bevel and an edge along this outside versus an absolutely flat bottom. And these are all used bricks, but pavers. But nonetheless, they're all the same way. Plus, these are spacers along the sides which maintain a distance from block to block, brick to brick, and they don't line up. Like these, the spacers are here and here, like 45% in and at the end, and on this side they're at the end and 45% in the other direction. So it always it spaces them out from block to block. That's really screwing me up over there. And even though these seem to be like completely whatever, they're still pretty delicate. You can't use a metal hammer on them. You can only use a soft mallet. If you hit them with a hammer, you'll break them. But and these are I think the standard is 2.4 inches in height. They make them in two styles, but this is to carry extra weight. These are very durable. I mean, compared to the other ones, you'll hardly ever find these breaking. It's really screwing me up over there. All right. See how you can see the sand jump in here because I pushed that in. All right, so we're going to do some more. I'm going to screed some more out to the end of this thing, and then what I'm going to do is end up sliding. Once I get that up, I'm going to slide this whole thing forward, and this is level this way. I think I took my little level and oh, here it is. Here's my little level. So it's level this way. as is the seawall level. And okay, so I'm going to screed some more, put in some more block, then I'm going to prep that whole area up there, and I'm going to go to the end of the boat with the new guide and prep all that area and do the same thing that I've done here. Plus I'm going to take some of the sand the heck out of here, because I'm going to go the other way also. I'm going to pull up what's underneath the bench and do the same thing over in this direction. And that, I don't have enough material over there, so it's going to be a little bit different. I don't know, I'm going to have to figure out what to do. Maybe bring in another load of soil, sand, I don't know. Anyway, so that's the plan. I moved the I don't know what you call this, the rail, and that's now 5 feet off of there, same way. I turned all the soil here, and I've been taking some of this out of here because this tends to be quite high. You can see over there by the edge of the seawall where it's almost equal in height to that. So there's a lot of extra soil here, or sand, and what I've been doing is grading it and, you know, using the sieve that I made here, and then taking it over, because this side over here, which is where I'm going to go next after I finish this side, is quite low. You can see I've got, you know, 3 inches or so over here. So I've been moving, as I've been taking soil there, I kind of screen it out and then bring it over here. So that's that's where we are. Coming back out here, it's already late in the afternoon and I'm kind of tired, but I'm going to work on this a little while and see how much more I can get done. So this is the following morning. This is some of the sand that I moved over from what I excavated from underneath here, and here's the finished product. There's where I was sorting sand, and I still have to backfill against this the edge, but this is where it finished up last night. And boy, am I sore. Anyway, it looks pretty good. I'm happy with the way that it came out. And then I'm going to extend on the other side, similar type thing, and then probably widen it out when I get to where the davit is, because that'll be like a service area for setting boats or jet skis or whatever stuff that I might end up with over here. So I need to have a little bit bigger landing pad. And I have enough. This is what I've got left of the pavers that I have. There's probably maybe 600. I only used maybe a third, a little over a third maybe, over here. All right then. It's another beautiful morning in Florida. I just can't get over this. This is perfect weather. The evenings are getting down into the 60s, and the daytime, like right now, it's about, I don't know, maybe 75 with a light breeze. Just a beautiful day. Another beautiful day. This is the final step, is filling the voids in between the blocks. And this is the stuff that you use. This happens to be from Lowe's. And depending on what the size of your blocks and the number of seams you have, you know, this coverage is kind of screwed up. But the point of the matter is, this stuff, you get it, you sweep it into the cracks, you shake it a little bit to make sure that it seats all the way down as far as it'll go. And then you sweep it to fill it up to the top again, and then you wet it. You got to make sure that everything is popcorn fart dry before you start, so that the sand will settle in. But you just you just drag it across your voids, fill the voids. And of course, you think that you've got them filled, and then you take this is a tamper. It's just a heavy metal flat plate, and you bounce it a little bit like this to make sure that the stuff packs in as good as you can. You can see some voids in here, and so you just come back and you sweep in a second time with it, and then you're ready to wet it. So you just go around the entire space with the tamper, making sure that you can see the voids developing over here. And the more diligent you are, the fewer weeds you'll have being able to establish themselves, because when this stuff gets wet, it's just like cement. It's impervious to weed roots and stuff like that, so anything that's underneath can't come up, and anything that's on top can't seat and get its roots through the stuff. So it really is very effective if you do a really good job with it. So and along the edges is a little harder because the stuff wants to spill out. You can put an edge up. A lot of guys actually mix up cement and make a border along the outside edge to hold the bricks in place. These aren't going anywhere. And in order to get the stuff in there, what I'll probably end up doing is taking the 2x4 and putting it up against there, and then wetting this down so that the stuff can set in all the way over to the edge. I'm going to come back along that edge, and it's where I can get down close to it and pay some attention to it. This the material is pretty expensive, actually. It's like $35. I'm sorry, it's about $27 for 30. I think this is 35 pounds. Yeah, 35 pounds. I think it was $27. But it goes a long way, so I guess in the overall scheme of things, it's not so expensive. And this also is fine for the seam between the pavers and the cement wall also. And then when you actually go to water it down, you just, like a shower, you know, you just wet it so that the water can find its way into all those cracks. And that's all there is to it. I mean, it's kind of laborious. And also today, the sun is beating down rather. Well, you can see my shadow. The sun is beating down rather intensely, even though it's probably only 80 degrees. The sun makes it feel like an oven. So because of all the seams, these are small blocks versus those, the larger blocks are doubles, and the big blocks are triples, so you can see that many fewer seams in that layout there. But you also see that there are no weeds in any of that. I mean, I get a little undulation here, which is fine. I kind of like that. But you can see that there are no weeds in the coming up through the pavers, between the pavers. Oh, there was a mullet. And so while you're laying your block, it's kind of important to try not to have any of the sand that you're working with hold off the pavers, because you want that seam to be open so that it'll accept this polymeric sand. And I find that actually the best way of putting the sand in is kind of going 45 degrees. That way you're not sweeping out what you just put in, you know. You're more sweeping across the pavers in an angular fashion. I'm going to go over this whole thing by tamping it down, but I was doing a little bit of this as I go. And you don't have to have a tamper. I mean, you can use anything flat and heavy, a cinder block even, you know. You could you're just trying to wiggle the sand down into the void between the pavers. All right, well, those are all the tips for moving this stuff and installing it. And that's about it. So when I'm ready to wet it, I'll show you the balance. I swept all the debris off of the surface, and then I used a blower to blow all the excess off, and then so it was nice and clean. And then I filled all the with the balance of this stuff. I went over the entire surface of this with the tamper over there to shake down all the stuff that was in there, and then I finished and went around. I also went around along the edge here. I pulled the sand that was along the side up against this so that this stuff wouldn't fall out the side, and then I have, you know, pretty good filling along the edge like that, so that works pretty well. And now I'm ready to wet the thing down, and then this stuff will all set up. So that's the that's all there is to that. Put enough in there, you can see the bubbles starting to come up. That's from the activation of the polymers that they use in order to bind the pieces of sand together. And by tomorrow, this will be a solid slab of pavers. And that should be about it. Okay. We're done. I'm going to backfill here. I'm going to change this fire pit thing. That's going to go down into the ground. I want this to be kind of beachy of some kind. I'm not sure whether it'll be sand or gravel or something, but you know, of course I don't want the weeds and all that crap, but that'll be one of the next projects. Right now I'm going to probably take a few days to relax because I'm like stiff as a board, and then I'm going to start working over here, do the same thing, maybe start out with a 4 foot, go to maybe a 6 or 8 foot, and then fill in so that I have sort of a patio-ish over here to land boats on, or you know, whatever water toys I end up with, or you know, picnic table, something. I'm not sure yet. And then I need to have a walkway over to the dock over there, but I have some other paving stones that my friend gave me, so I might be using those over there. I'm not sure yet. Okay, so like, subscribe, comment. I'm happy to, if there's something else that you want to see, or when you have questions about the installation or whatever, just let me know. Talk to you soon. Bye.